Now that I've finished my design for my pattern tile, I'll save my file. Onto the desktop in a Photoshop file format. That's one of the only formats that retains layers. And I always click OK to this Maximize Compatibility prompt. And now to prepare this to become a pattern tile, I'm going to apply a filter to it called the Offset filter. And to prepare the canvas for that filter, I have to combine all of these layers into one. I have to flatten them or merge them into one. So it's important before we do this step that you will have saved your file. Now I'm going to select all of the layers in the layer palette by going to the Select menu and choosing Select All Layers. You can see they're all selected because it's highlighted. And I'm going to merge these by going to the Layer menu and choosing Merge Layers. I don't want to choose Flatten Image because that will not only pancake all of my layers into one, it will turn them into an opaque layer with a white background, and I want to avoid the white background right now. So I'm choosing instead Merge Layers. And you'll see that now I have one layer left, and it still has the transparent background, which is the effect I want. I will double click the name of this layer and just call it Pattern. And now I will save as Pattern Tile Flat and click Save. And click OK again. Now that all my layers are flattened in this file, I'll apply the Offset filter. I go to the Filter menu, I choose Other, and I select Offset. And this actually breaks my design into 4 quadrants, one in each corner of the canvas. And it splits it based on the number of pixels I've entered in the offset field for horizontal and vertical. And because my canvas is 300 pixels across, 300 pixels wide that is, and 300 pixels high, I take half of that, and that is my offset number. So for horizontal, I enter 150 pixels to the right. The plus sign indicates the offset will go to the right. And for vertical, it is the same number, 150 pixels down, and the plus sign indicates the offset will go downward. To see the effect of this, I'll turn on and off the preview button. This is with the preview button off and with the preview button on. Now the effect you're seeing in this demonstration is based on this option wraparound being selected. If I chose something else like repeat edge pixels or set to transparent, I would get something very different. So it's important for making a pattern to choose the wraparound feature. It's important that this number for horizontal offset is half the number of pixels for the width of this canvas, and it is important that this number is half the number of pixels for the height of the canvas. I'll click OK. Now it looks kind of strange, and in fact there's a big gaping hole in the center, and I might want to put something there like another shape. So I'll actually do that. I'll go back to my Shape tool, and I'll select one more shape. This looks good to me. Let me deselect this layer so that it is not selected. I don't want to inadvertently change these shapes here. And draw it out here. And you'll see that it showed up with just a drop shadow effect and a light yellow color, which is in fact diminished. It's a 58% fill. I'm going to drag that all the way up to 100%. And you'll see that it has a vivid light blend on it. I can also choose an overlay blend or a screen blend or perhaps multiply to see which one might have the effect I'm looking for. And I'm going to transform it with Command T on the Mac, Control T on the PC, and scale it and see what I can get that might look kind of interesting and add to this design. The fact that wherever it's overlapping, the blend mode is making it look quite interesting is something I'm after. So I'll go ahead and hit the return or enter key on my keyboard to set that transformation in place. I will deselect that shape, and in fact I might actually drag it downward below the other pattern to see what it looks like underneath everything. And I kind of like that, so I'll leave it beneath. I will save my file as a new name, and this time I will call it Pattern Tile Offset. This is just my way of saving the file at various stages of production. And click Save, and click OK. Now it's ready to be defined as a pattern. So to do that, I click the top layer and hold the Shift key down and click the other layer. Or I can just go to the Select menu and choose the option called All Layers. Once I've done that, I can go to the Edit menu and define this tile as a pattern by selecting that option under the Edit menu, where I get a prompt to give it a name. So I'm going to go ahead and take the .psd off the end of this name and just call it Pattern Tile Offset. I'll click OK. Now Photoshop has defined that as a pattern, and I can use it in the next demonstration to fill a shape or a template. Make sure to save your file.